Cio News, our official soul, founder and editor at Cio News. I am very excited to share this video with both gentlemen today. Thank you for taking out time and joining us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. We have Shrikant Appalat, Chief Technology Officer at Bajaj Auto Limited. Shrikant is a distinguished C-suite technologist with a wide range of global experience in Fortune 500 companies in India based prominent organizations. He's very successful in delivering and automating multi-billion-dollar projects with robust service frameworks and has been apt in evaluating business needs to craft innovation solutions that improve performance, reduce costs, and cut delivery cycle time by using lean methods, highly responsible architects. Shrikant has also been recognized at various industry events and forums, and he's been recognized with a lot of awards as well. Congratulations on that, and thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the intro.
Alright, I would like to introduce Arvind. He is a regional head at Freshworks India. Arvind is a technology consultant with 15 years of experience of professional skills and also has helped organizations in their digital transformation journey of various sizes and has worked with companies across various segments. Arvind has also leveraged technology solutions to help businesses streamline their enterprise service delivery and IT operations, enhancing their overall IT efficiency and customer employee satisfaction. Wonderful to have you, and really looking forward to having this conversation.
Pleasure to be here.
Great. Our today's topic is modern employee experience, and on that, I actually wanted to start by putting up my first question to you, Shrikant. In today's time, do you think understanding employee experience and integrating employee experience solutions are in need and is an absolute must in today's time?
Absolutely. So, a lot of discussion around employee experience and employee engagement is going on. There's two new buzzwords happening. A lot of importance is being given now. But let's try to understand what the definition of employee experience. I would say the employee experience is all about a journey within the organization where the employee gets access to or need to collaborate with different clusters in the organization. It could be people or the managers or internal departments, or also finally taking care of the well-being as well, and tools, of course. So these are the different journey that the employee goes through, ensure that the entire life cycle is completed. But we also need to totally understand the employee experience and engagement are two different aspects altogether. While the employee experience is always been all about the tools and access, the employee engagement is how to make them more and more productive. And I would say top 3 or 4 pockets where employees, what they look towards the organization is the first the tools, So it's not about how do you access particular content and all that, but now employees are looking forward, how do they make their more work in better informed way. That could be having access to the global forums, or could be taking part of the global communities to share their work, or also recreate their work as well. Now this is where the companies are not shying away to whitelist or blacklist a particular forums or sharing their work. Before the days, they used to restrict saying that you cannot post your particular work on a different a particular platform or a forum. But now the gates are open now. Suppose there is a developer and he or she want to understand how the same work being written by other particular developer. So this is what a global barriers have come into the picture, which employees are really looking forward. The 2 is the motivation, where employee really want to have instant and constant access with the managers. They really don't want to wait for 2 times in a year where the annual appraisals will happen. They need instant gratification for that. One of the nearest example where I recently found out was the Taj hotels. Really gives instant gratification for their employees. It happens on daily basis. So this is something that in the IT the world, where the employees are looking for day-to-day appreciations and gratifications. Third is innovation, I would say, where employees really want to own that community, the organization, where the innovation will really spike up, once you give them opportunity to speak loudly and what creative work they did, So I would say these are the 3 or 4 parameters I can say about, altogether what employees are looking at. Finally, the well-being, obviously, is very important factor. It's not just about the employees is taken care of with the compensations and benefits and all that, or amenities given to them, but it's all about well-being as well. How the employee is really focusing on creating a well-being as a kind of framework for the employees. I would say these are something that employees are really looking forward from the organization point of view.
Fantastic. And when we talk about what are some of the key benefits that organizations are looking for, when we talk about an employee experience solutions to cater this expectation of the employees that we just spoke about, and what are some of course, one is covering all the expectations, and also from a deployment of an EX solution, there comes a lot of cost benefit, increase of productivity. So, what are some of your thoughts around it?
From an organization point of view, when you talk about digital experience or trying to create a digital ecosystem, typically these words will start popping up saying that cost saving, productivity and efficiency and all that. But to do that, the companies are taking a step back to understand and create a modern workplace. So how do you create that entire digital ecosystem, where we'll have primarily two parts to that. One is the digital tools, two is the digital access. Digital tools is all about bringing all kind of tools to make them work more and more productive way. Where I said it's not about just giving some tools for them to act upon, but a personalized experience. Suppose there's a tester, a QA analyst, if he or she is trying to perform, would love to get a recommendation basis on the work. These are different kind of tools, what the employees are looking at, and organizations also want to give that kind of experience. And digital access, digital access is something that give them an opportunity to part of, to share the work within the community as such. I can give one good example is about a typical group of business analysts who are working across different countries as such, want to create a product. So if the global collaboration happens, then the particular developer or designer will have a view of creating this experience right from a configuration or development point of view. So this is something that where the employees are looking at, and organizations also want to create that kind of experience for the employees, so that a massive innovation can happen.
Sure. Great. And I wanted to take you up on that and ask you a question. Do you also interact with a lot of CIOs, CXOs on the same space, like around employee experience? What are some of the priorities that they look for when evaluating these solutions? What are you being heard from the market?
So as you said, we interact with a lot of business leaders in IT and technology officers, CIOs. While we speak a lot of things, there are three areas that we constantly hear from them, right? One is, if I invest in an employee experience technology, what would be the typical time to value, right? Gone are the days when a huge project is undertaken and then it is ran for 12 to 18 months before even they realize the first dollar realization, right? So technology leaders want a solution, especially a solution that is internal facing, employee facing, that needs to be quickly rolled out, right? So that's one of the constantly heard things, right? The second area of conversation that we have is, how can my function, my IT team, take care of this particular technology in terms of maintaining and managing? Is there a steep learning curve? They don't want a steep learning curve associated with the technology, right? They don't want highly skilled resources and scarcely available resources to associated to this technology. They want everybody to learn, right? And quickly configure a few things, quickly roll out changes and things like that, right? External dependency is something that they are completely, they do not want to associate themselves with, right? I should not be having a dependency with a vendor or a partner or the OEM for that matter, right? The third area that we constantly have conversation is around extensibility, right? Of course, technology providers solve most of the problems, but what if a specific use case or a specific requirement involves talking to another application, right? What if a particular use case is only meant for my vertical or my domain, right? So how quickly is your product extensible, right? So that's another area that we constantly have conversation, right? Having said that, our fundamental mission is also aligned to these priorities, right? Our fundamental vision is making sure that employees in an organization love the business software, right? That's one common thing that is engraved in our philosophy. The mission is basically making sure that the technology that we provide is fast enough to be implemented, right? These are the two areas that we really want to focus on, and we don't want organizations to spend a lot of time investing time in deploying and rolling out technology, especially in the employee experience space, right? And from a capability standpoint, we have four pillars primarily. This IT's SM, which is ITIL aligned problem change, release, and incident management, coupled with great knowledge management, virtual agents in multiple channels, right, like MS Teams and Slack. We have IT operations management and IT asset management, right? And all of these work on top of a single platform called Neo platform, right? While we go deeper into these aspects of ITSM, IT asset management, and IT operations management, we also want to make sure that we expand horizontally to the entire organization, right? Not just IT, but also other functions like HR, payroll, finance, right? So any service management requirements should be quickly rolled out in the service management platform, right? And all these capabilities that I spoke about has a Gen AI flavor also, right?
Okay.
Wherein we bring in, we make sure that we bring in practical applications of Gen AI into every capability that we have.
I want to ask a question to you, Shrikant, is understanding how the kind of building the requirements of this ever-evolving employee expectations in the working dynamics that we are in. How are CIOs and organizations will be kind of working on that?
It's something that the organizations always used to get massive budgets, towards the customer engagement, acquisitions and retainships and all that, where a lot of digital transformations usually happens with this kind of engagements. But post-pandemic is something that we have seen. The organizations have really understood the wealth of the companies are people, and there is a lot of importance being given, employees, where a lot of digital, establishments has to happen. And interestingly, I've seen the boards, the management, CEOs are prioritizing this, the creating that digital experience for the employees as the key portfolio of the CIO. So this is something like a big change what we are seeing, where it will basically help the CIO and CTOs, to go and scout for what are the advanced technologies available for employees. Like Freshworks is a market leader who has different products and services for the employee experience. And we do have Microsoft and Slack, so much of communication tools, and a lot of investment happening such. And I would say, as the employees are not just looking for digital tools and access, they're also looking at something that the employee gives them an opportunity to be part of global communities as such, where they can share and they can create that spark within themselves, to showcase their work as well. Now, the nearest example I can say is Microsoft is planning to come with an AI assistant in Outlook. So who can stop that? So though it's a beautiful thing happening for the digital ecosystem, and employees' productivity can really go by 20-30%. But this is an experience that employees are looking at, and gone are the days where companies used to think about what to blacklist, what to whitelist, and all that. But this is something that is the barriers have been broken. So they have to really help employees to be part of the global community and accept what technology is available in the market. So this is something that I would say is a very good sign. The CIOs, CTOs are coming forward and understanding the employees' needs towards organizations.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, I want to put my next question. What are some of the use cases? You can share some of the use cases and reference customers if it's possible for the ITSM solution that is going.
One of India's largest automotive companies, Mahindra and Mahindra, is our customers, and we recently acquired them. Mahindra, interestingly, had a huge initiative called Project Anubhav, wherein the fundamental core of the objective of the project is to bring unified enterprise service management platform for all their employees, irrespective of whether it's IT or non-IT. They wanted to extend it to any employees beyond IT for service management. And some of the key priorities or the use cases for this project was automation. How can we make sure that a lot of trivial activities can be automated, right? The second one is making sure self-service is the way of life, making sure self-service reaches every employee and it becomes habitual for employees to not depend on everybody else in the organization to cater to their asks. The third one being SLA adherence, right? Making sure that every query is being answered under a stipulated time, right? So these were the top priorities for this project, and it was directly led by the CIO Rucha herself, right? And that's when we started getting engaged in that project. And being true to our philosophy, we were able to quickly roll out this project, and in a matter of say less than 3 months, right? And this addresses the initial thought of ours, right? Initial point of ours, where CIO's priority is quick time to value, and we kind of made sure that it's rolled out in a record time. And what they were able to benefit out of this engagement, benefit out of this enterprise service management rollout, was having employees from different functions, other functions beyond IT, to get the queries directly addressed to them, so that they can respond back to the employee who is raising this question in a timely manner, not involving IT or reduced IT overhead for actually getting this question and then routing to the right person, right? No, IT's time was completely used for other core value added activities, right? And of course, Mahindra was able to have or attain some benchmark metrics in terms of employee satisfaction, in terms of average resolution time, in terms of adhering to SLAs, right? So compared to their peers, they were able to quickly achieve the service management metrics, key service management metrics. Some of the other customers that we cater to in India is like Federal Bank, Puma Energy, Unilever, Colgate Palmolive, some really large names that looks up to our platforms to completely transform their employee engagement and employee experience.
See, you mentioned about skipping the whole job lights. It's eliminating the whole thing.
No. Earlier, what used to happen is like any question that anybody raises in an organization would go to IT. IT will have to understand the type, category of the question, and if it's payroll specific, they'll route to the payroll team. Imagine the amount of, and Mahindra is such a large company. So many people raising questions, right? And every question, IT getting involved in each and every question is going to waste a lot of their time, right? So an automated routing to the respective team, to the respective function, to the respective person has completely removed the IT overhead that it was taking earlier.
The next question is, what digital tools and infrastructures are required by CIOs that will result into the productivity and the outcome of the employees?
Few favorites of mine, I would say that one is definitely the digital tools. It could be traditional emails or communications through business WhatsApps or Slack or different kind of communication tools, which will or has to improve the entire efficiency of particular team as such. So the standard tools, which we already spoke about. The interesting other two could be, one is employee survey and feedback, which is something that all CIOs, CTOs would love to have that, where we want a tool where instant gratification can happen for employees, because a lot of projects we work, a lot of deliveries we do, and it could be right from a tester to designers, developers, support, operations, architects, a huge massive amount of team, works across the projects. Gone are the days where the SDLC is more than like 8 months, 9 months, but now a lot of rapid prototyping is happening and you need instant deliverables and all that. So the employees also expect instant gratification, instant recognition as well. So how do we do that? So we need something that every employee can have easy access to managers to showcase that what happened on the particular day or time, so that employee can have a real conversation with the manager. So that I would say surveys and feedbacks are very important. Second is the hygiene factors. While every department do their best in the organization, but if you ask me, still I would need my employees to have a real quick access to the attendance systems. It could be a payroll systems, or any well-being system. This is very important. When something happens across, the employee should have real access to get those things done. So that is the other one I could say. Thirdly, is the experience again altogether, where make them part of the innovation again. Where I can just give an example. How do we do that? Assuming that you get a requirement from a business, and traditionally You may do some UML programming, and you come out saying that this is the right architecture for this particular product as such. But you never know, because the technology advancement is happening so much. You never know, there could be a better design patterns already available in the market, or could be someone is trying to use that. So this sharing the knowledge is very, very important for us, and it's not about the team leads or project managers or individual consultants who are actually part of the entire community can really post on what could the best solution is can be recommended, and how do we address this using tools is something that as a CIO CTO would love to have that particular framework across. Yeah, so these are something I would say the favorites of CIOs and the CTOs, dashboarding tools.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, I think, like I was interacting with one of the CIOs, and they mentioned that now the way the content is consumed by cross, their consumption time is, and the span of looking at a video, etc., become very less. So if there's any tutorial or any video that goes up even internally to employees, it can be as crisp in a format which can be consumed by today's Gen Zs or millennials that we talk about. This is going to be fantastic. So that's what he also mentioned. Great. And what measures do you think can be fostered to take care of the culture of innovation and also the collaboration through digital channels and platforms?
See, I firmly believe digital collaboration will lead to service innovation. As you were rightly mentioning, a typical case I can explain about. We are trying to build a product where the whole bunch of developers sitting in India and trying to develop a product for the Indian, framework. So now just imagine the same kind of product we want to build for Europe and America, so different continents or countries as well. So now here the digital collaboration will play a very massive role. Now you have three business analysts writing requirement spec. One is framing for Indian laws. The other two business analysts trying to do for Europe and America as well. So now just imagine that if the developer will have a full control on the requirement spec to understand, how the product has to behave in different countries. So this is a massive kind of guidance for the developers. It will save the customization and kind of change requirement by at least 40 to 50%. So this is a thought is going on across the business analyst groups or developers architects group, where so the product can be built in a way that it can behave local conditions such. So you don't need to again reconfigure the product once you go to the particular market or a zone. So these are something that this is nothing but service innovation. Where you're trying to develop a product or service and innovate the customer as such. So now you are sharing digitally on a collaborative mode, the text, images, the documents, everything is being shared in a privacy, full confidentiality, and this digital collaboration is leading to, I would say, a requirement elicitation is happening. Even the business owner is getting surprised. He was wishing for something, and the IT is coming back with more. So this is something that business community also is very, very excited. It's all leading to that service innovation.
Absolutely. And I think today technology is gone beyond just the IT department. Today every other starts talking tech. Excellent. What are the developments and updates that are planned in the future for Freshworks IPS?
Yeah. So we are investing heavily on GenAI in the sense how we are using GenAI to bring in practical applications for service management. Right? GenAI is not just a buzzword as far as Freshworks is concerned. We wanted to really use GenAI to bring in more consumable applications, consumable use cases for different people in the organization. Right? To start with, for employees, how can interaction with a virtual agent be more conversational, right? Rather than throwing some random articles or throwing some wild suggestions. Right? We wanted to make sure that the responses are much more contextual, much more personalized for employees in the channel that they are in. Right? They don't really have to log into Freshservice applications to consume information. Be in MS Teams, ask any questions to the virtual agent you want, and a virtual agent answers, right? We also take one notch above and see knowledge is available in many places inside an organization. Everybody is creating content, everybody is creating knowledge, right? We wanted to make sure that we leverage that knowledge to answer the employees' queries, right? Not just the knowledge that is available within Freshservice, but also how we can bring in knowledge from other platforms as well, say such as SharePoint or Confluence and so on, right? So that's something that we are working on. We can expect that very, very soon. This is for the employees. For agents and resolvers, people who get the queries routed to them, right? We wanted to refine capabilities to increase their productivity as well. For example, what would be the ideal response for this particular query, right? Or can I summarize this ticket for you so that you just get the gist of it, right? Rather than going tons of email exchanges and then responding back to an employee's query. Ticket summary is something that we are working on. Prescriptive suggestions, say for example, in the past for a ticket of this kind, these were the ticket properties that were changed, right? A prescription of sorts, and it's up to the agent or the resolver to go with those suggestions, right? So wanted to bring in a lot more productivity aspects to these things, right? And article generator, and this seems to be a very standard question. Do you want to generate an article out of it, right? So these are the things that we wanted to make sure that agents or resolvers are put in front of, so that they get a better experience rather, and they don't really get fatigued at the end of the day. For administrators, all the personas that I am talking about are typical users of the service management systems, right? For administrators, if they wanted to build a workflow, right, a co-pilot option, this seems to be the ideal step for you when you are building this workflow. Right? Why not do it, right? And finally, for leaders or IT managers, right, bring in a lot more prescriptive insights into the data, right? Gone are the days where we give IT leaders with a lot of reports, pie charts, scan charts, say, this is what the data looks like. You derive insights out of it. We wanted to go one step further and say, these are the insights out of the data that Freshservice can give you, right? Why not take an appropriate decision out of it, right? Make the insights much more conversational. Ask a question and then it goes into the data, fetches the information, and then gets back with it. Right? That's the kind of analytics that we are talking about on Freshservice, right? And we are so excited to see these features getting built from close quarters. But yeah, it would be launched in the months to come.
So I want to put across the next question in terms of understanding. How do you think organizations, what are the kind of approaches that we should really take in balancing the benefits of employees monitoring, productivity, and also kind of utilizing the tools that are available?
Yeah, so I will take you through a relevant case study which worked on this like 5 years back, but still it is very much relevant to the industry, which will benefit the viewers as well. So this is something that I work for a fintech where the entire program is all about to move the data from analog to digital, and the program is digital transformation, where it will have 3 phases: digitalization, digitization, transformation. So this is more about 100% digitization work for a fintech community, or I would say the loan officers or sales people across, who was traditionally takes a printed paper, where they go and disburse and collection loans. They go across different pockets of towns and semi-urbans and all that. So this is something that a branch has a typical mother computer where you come and print, and then the loan officers goes and does their work. But now how do we transform this? Something that we did this 5 years back, where still it is a time of 2Gs, 3Gs slowly started coming in. So we designed in a way that we brought technology called MDM, mobile device management, and we installed that mobile device management in the tablet or a mobile given to the employee. So before beginning the work, the employee syncs with the local computer, the data transfers into their particular mobile, and they go across and does the work and come back. So there are a lot of benefits across. We have converted the entire paperwork into the digitization. But why brought this particular case study is it has empowered the employees. We actually thought it will empower the customers as such, but it's a different bonus altogether. The employees got so much rewarded with this because you are throwing away the entire paperwork for them, and you are digitizing the entire story of how do you compute the data in a particular tablet. And then the KYC, Aadhars all have started. This particular tablet now got the peripheral devices of POS machines, biometrics, and all that. It became a massive kit altogether, which has transformed the employees' productivity by more than 150%. Can you believe 150%? Where the huge many case studies has been written about this particular case study. So these are something that we have moved the entire industry as such from digitalization to digitization and transformation. So these are something that sometimes you always think about empowering the customer, but this is something that a relevant case study how we have really empowered the employees as such. So now with this, the additional case study was we also now got the enough technology about the sales people across. So we also build the routing mechanisms. How this employees has to go in a GV maps. Kind of locations to save the fuel cost as well. So this is something that you have to put your thoughts across. How do you empower the employee community as such? So this is one case study I can really thought to share it with you.
Awesome. Yeah. After COVID, a lot of people have really started focusing on their employees is around the mental health and the work-life balance. Yeah. So, how's your organization kind of creating that employees process and offers that balance?
Yeah, there's a lot of effort and work is going on in this space. Like if you just pull your mobile and see, you always have digital well-being, as one of the feature now. So this is something that we are trying to bring into the organization, where on the employee's laptop or a mobile, where you always show the well-being, how many hours the employee is trying to spend time in front of a computer. It doesn't mean that designer or developer has to spend 8 hours in front of a computer. So these are something that where a collaboration tools are being introduced into the designing or development phases of SDLC, or could be an LMS as well, learning management systems as well. Where through that we are empowering the employees or making them to understand how effectively the health has to be taken care. Not just the tech work or the day routine work as well. So yeah, many initiatives are being taken care, but this is something a new KRS for every organization. And pandemic, of course, is treating or giving us a flexibility to put those budgets to the boards and management. And it's very nice to see that we are trying to create the hybrid remote workplace. But the challenge here is now how do we apprise these employees who are working remotely and who are working at on-site. This is something that the HRs also are going through the process of creating that a systematic evaluation. So it doesn't mean that if you're not seeing employee on daily basis, the evaluation has to be separate. A different protocol need to be followed. But this is something that the companies are thinking, how do we club all this together and create a seamless evaluation process for the teams of people who are working remotely or at the on-site. So irrespective of that, so a digital well-being dashboarding is something that we are trying to create, and I'm hopeful for next coming 2 years more and more importance will be given to these dashboards.
Yeah, I think to add on to that while there was so many discussions happening about the 7-hour work week. Right?
True. Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation that's going on.
Yeah.
Great. I think it's a wonderful discussion. There are a lot of insights that our viewers can get through this conversation. I'm sure. Any last inputs that you might want to add? We'll start with Shikhan and then I will.
I would say this is the best phases of technology at its millennium. I would say the huge revolution is happening across, and every company or employee or any individual, if they don't invest time in learning these new technologies, will be totally left behind. I would say it could be design, development, or whatever it is. I'm not just talking about tech work. Every department, I would say, in an organization, could be HR, could be internal audit, could be governance, compliance departments, marketing departments. So while every one of us are trying to do a lot of investments on these particular technologies, HR has to play a very big role in making sure that the investment they do for employee well-being. And I'm hopeful that a lot of exciting products are coming in the market, and I'm hopeful that the HR community really takes it up, to take care of employee well-being.
My closing thoughts would be, there is time and again a lot of emphasis that is being given on employee experience and employee well-being, and Shrikant's talk was a testament to that. From a technology provider's perspective, what we can offer, how technology can really help in this transition, right? Help employees' day-to-day operations being easy, right? And we have proven that time and again from engaging with various organizations, and we can see the results also, and not from a service management and metrics related to service management standpoint, how easy it is for the employees of these organizations to use the technology to focus on much more value added work, right? So from a technology provider's perspective, that's my message, and yeah, that would be my closing point.
Thank you so much for taking our time and joining us today on Cio News Interview. It was wonderful to chat.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be here.